Welcome back to Family Canning in the Sip. Today we're going to be making some bone broth. We're using turkey wings, and the reason why we're using turkey wings is because of the joints. All the joints in the turkey wings. You can use turkey legs as well. But we're doing this to get the collagen and the glucosamine from the joints, mainly because of what we have experienced with our dog Atlas with severe arthritis. We're hoping we can help our dog with this, but we're going to be making a pretty good bit of bone broth using the turkey wings. We're using this, we can actually take the meat. We won't give the meat to the dogs, but we'll take the meat and we'll freeze it and we'll use it in, instead of chicken and dumplings, it'll be turkey and dumplings, turkey pot pies.
And you don't give the bones to your dog.
Yeah, and you don't give the bones to them either. And making like a dressing or something along that line, a turkey dressing. But we'll take the meat and we'll freeze it. And the bones, when we're done with the bones, we'll actually freeze them because I'll cook them one more time in here with another batch of fresh turkey wings or turkey legs. Right now, all we could get was turkey wings because they didn't have any turkey legs. But like I said, this is for our dogs and for us. It's healthy for us too. We can take in at least 8 ounces a day as humans, or more if you can tolerate more of it. You know, it's good for your immune system. It's good for your joints as well.
It's good for your gut.
It's good for your gut, which, like I said, for the immune system. But one of the biggest things is it helps your liver. It helps your liver. You know, your liver does all the detox of everything that we take in on a daily basis. And for a dog, when you think about it like that, just think about it, everything that they do every day. Their nose on the ground, grass has been sprayed with something or some form of fertilizer or something to kill bugs or whatever. You know, and their noses are always on the ground and a lot of other stuff. But I'm gonna start getting this ready to roll. And when I start putting the water in here, and we'll show you exactly how much it is, while I'm putting the water, because I'm going to be using filtered water from our refrigerator here. And Cindy's going to go over everything that this is good for the dog. Like I said, it's good for the humans too, but this is mainly for our dogs because we're doing this and because of our dog Atlas and what he's experiencing right now and having to go through rehab and probably fixing to be taking him to Mississippi State to do an MRI, just so we can pinpoint the problem of why he can't stand and why he can't walk. But I'm gonna start putting the turkey wings in this 22-quart roaster. It's actually just a giant crock pot is what it is. But it's a roaster is the way it's labeled. And I can promise you, it's not that expensive. It's less than $100, but I can produce a lot of broth out of this, a whole lot of broth out of this. So I'm gonna get started with the wings, and then I'm gonna start putting water in. Also, not only that, what I'm gonna add to this, I've got 2 tablespoons of Italian seasoning. That's just to add some flavor for us. It's good for the dogs too. It's thyme, rosemary, oregano.
Parsley.
It's 2 other things in it, and I can't remember what they are, but it's Italian seasoning, Kroger brand Italian seasoning that you get at the grocery store, Kroger. And a 1.5 cups of apple cider vinegar. The apple cider vinegar, what that's going to do, that's going to draw out the nutrients from the bones and the cartilage and the joints of this, to draw out all those nutrients and everything. When this is done, and I put it in the refrigerator, it should form a gel. It should be jelly-like. And if it comes out jelly-like, we did it right. So that's what you got to look for. And there's another important thing for the gelatin in this. So, like I said, when I start putting the water in here, Cindy's going to start going over everything that's good for the dog that's coming out of this and good for us.
And this will actually cook for 24 hours, so it has to simmer
We'll go to that side.
for 24 hours. Alright, so we got this article. We've done anything and everything we can for our poor Atlas man, who is 10, and we just found out in June that he has severe arthritis. We had no signs, no symptoms, no crying. We had no idea that he had arthritis in the joint. So he is on CBD oil and some other medication. He's also going through physical therapy. We will probably end up taking him to Mississippi State, like Don said, to do the MRI. Right now, we're just keeping him comfortable, and it's pretty much 24 hours, 7 days a week, taking care of him.
Yep.
So we got this article from dogsnaturallymagazine.com. And I'm just going to go over a few things on here with y'all. You can go to their website, check it out, and learn how to do this. But bone broth is a long forgotten superfood. It's inexpensive, nutrient packed, and easy to make. So here are some of the reasons why we do it. Bone broth is loaded with glucosamine. It is also packed with other joint protecting compounds like chondroitin and hyaluronic acid. And we know, Don and I both take glucosamine chondroitin supplements. The older we get, the more joint problems we have.
It hurts, you know, if you're our age, it hurts.
But we're also going to start drinking the bone broth every day too. So one thing we're going to do with this is put it into ice cube trays. Once that freezes, we'll put it in Ziploc bags, and it'll be much easier, especially with us having 10 dogs, to dose out the glucosamine to each dog. Don also was saying that the liver is the master organ of detoxification. The things about dogs, they consume foods with toxic and synthetic ingredients. Now, if y'all know us, we are not a fan of any kind of food that you can get in a grocery store. A lot of the dog food that they produce and the USDA allows them to produce is full of euthanized dogs and cats. Some of it, like, I won't say the names, but you can look at your packaging. It has antifreeze in it.
I can't remember usually.
I'm trying to think of the name, the word they use.
Gly something. It's used to make antifreeze.
But it's used to make antifreeze, and it just makes the dog food sweet, so the dogs like it.
It's used as a preservative.
They also used roadkill. They've used farm animals that have been laying in a pasture. They like I said, and if you don't honestly believe me, you can do the research yourself because we've done it. They do use euthanized dogs and cats with rabies collars, rabies tags. The medication that they use to euthanize dogs and cats is also rendered into the dog food and the cat food. So do your research. Our dogs also suffer problems with their liver through dewormers, flea and tick preventatives, drugs, antibiotics, vaccinations, and more. The liver was never meant to suffer this onslaught, and its capacity to detoxify is limited by the availability of amino acid glycine. So, guess what? Bone broth has a lot of the amino acid glycine, which will help our dogs with their liver functions. Stress, poor diet, and bacterial overgrowth can cause holes in a dog's stomach, and it's called leaky gut. Now, what this does, when it turns into that gel, the gel will actually go into the dog's gut and fill in those holes that their diet and environment and stress and other factors have caused. So that is another really good reason to start giving your dog this. It's also good for sick dogs. So if you have a dog that is not eating, kind of like Atlas is, unless his grandma or Auntie Valerie comes over and then he'll eat whatever they give him, or the girls at the clinic, he'll eat for them. But if you have a dog that has like severe diarrhea, upset stomach, pumpkin is a great one, but bone broth is even a better one to start giving your pups. Just give them, and I'll go over the amounts of what we need to give them. It can also bolster their immune system. So especially in this day and age, 2020, our immune systems need to be at their peak. So this is another excellent benefit of the bone broth is to use for building your immune system. So those are about, I'm trying to make sure I covered everything. And like Don said, the, putting in the ACV, it's going to draw out the minerals out of the bones more. If you don't have apple cider vinegar, you can use lemon juice. And you can add, let's say kelp, nettles, garlic, dandelion root, Italian herbs, which is what we're doing. Burdock root, shiitake mushrooms. It kind of gives you a list of things that you can actually add to the bone broth that helps. Garlic is a great one. But again, building up their immune system, getting their cartilage and their ligaments, that's the thing with dogs. And the joint supplement that we've been using for about 5 years on our dogs, which we thought was doing absolutely wonderful. And it is, but when you get to the point where your dog has arthritis as severe as Atlas, who cannot even get up on his own, and no, we're not willing to give up on him yet. You want the tendons and the ligaments and all of that around the joints to support those joints. And one thing that the glucosamine supplement that he gets also does that. So a lot of just the glucosamine helps bones, but it doesn't help the ligaments, the joints, the tendons, all that kind of stuff. So this bone broth is something that we're going to be giving all 10 of our dogs from now on. I don't ever want to experience what we're going through with Atlas ever again. I cried more in the past week than I probably have in an entire 10 years. But those are some of the benefits. Like I said, we're going to cook this for 24 hours. And if we need to add a little bit of water, we'll just kind of keep an eye on it and add the water to it. As Don is putting in the filtered water. So, go ahead. What were you going to say? You can use other kinds of bones on this. Any kind of raw bone. Because we actually made some bone broth with beef bones. And what else was in that?
But the problem with that was is that we didn't get any knuckles or anything like that. It's got the
Collagen.
Yeah, it's got the collagen and stuff in it.
And the glycine.
Which is it's good for you too. I highly recommend that as well. But this right here, as far as what we're doing, is the best to use.
If you save your bones, like if you have a cookout with ribs or whatever, and you save the bones, just make sure to completely clean off the bones before you freeze them, because barbecue sauce, and there's a lot of stuff that we put. When Don grills out, he puts a lot of the seasonings on it, and it's not going to be that great for our dogs' stomachs. So if you do freeze those bones to make a broth later, make sure that you wash them thoroughly and get all that off. What else, love?
Something to think about if you can remember back, especially our age. You go back and you remember
I'm 29. I don't know what he's talking about.
Remember your grandparents and your aunts and uncles and stuff, when they got on up in age, how well they were still able to move around and stuff. Back in that day, they didn't waste anything. The bones were cooked. Everything was cooked. They didn't waste anything. And you go back and research this stuff, you'll find out that the biggest reason why a lot of the older men and older women back then didn't suffer from severe arthritis is because of this. It's because of this right here.
But a lot of our foods that we, processed foods that we buy in the grocery store nowadays is also not great for our systems, period. Us, our dogs. I know a lot of people feed their dogs human food, which we have been guilty of. Right now we'll give Atlas anything if he'll eat it. So we're hoping the bone broth entices his appetite back so he'll start eating dog food instead of his mama in here cooking him chicken thighs and chicken breasts and whatever else I can get him to eat.
That's 5 of these right now.
That's a lot of water. Again, if y'all have any questions about this, you can either ask us, or, so I get my glasses back on, dogsnaturallymagazine.com. And it has a lot of information on there. And they sell a lot of stuff on here. But
When you can make this stuff, you'll come out a lot cheaper.
yeah, as I went to the pig today, and I don't know how much I spent on these turkey wings, which these wings are really huge, and it has a lot of meat on it. It really wasn't that much. I maybe spent $20 on turkey wings. Gotta wash my hands now. But again, we're gonna let this cook for 24 hours. And then when we are done with the cooking process, we're gonna bring you back on the video just so y'all can see what the consistency looks like.
We'll go through the taking it out and strain it, because we'll have to strain it. Then we'll take some and put it in the refrigerator. And like I said, if it gels, we did good. It came out right if it gels. And that's what we wanted to do, is we wanted to gel. That means we got the gelatin, we got everything out of it, all the nutrients that we could get out of it. And like I said, once we pick the bones clean, that sounds bad, but once we pick the bones clean and everything, we'll save those bones, put them in the freezer, and when we get ready to do the next batch, we'll use those bones one more time to draw out anything else we can out of those bones, and then we'll dispose of those bones. And we'll hang on to the second batch of the new turkey wings. To do
So
the
we
same
just keep
thing.
rotating until we make sure that we get all the good stuff out of the bones. And there's a fly on the camera. We have a pet fly too, apparently. I think you are full.
Almost.
Four cups out of 8.
Okay, 7 times 8 is 56, minus 4, 52. 52 cups of water. One and a half cups of apple cider vinegar. 2 tablespoons of Italian seasoning.
I'm excited about having the turkey, so I
And
can
what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna turn this all the way to high. It's gonna stay on high for the first hour. Then I'll come back and I'll cut it down on low. And like she said, it's gonna go for 24 hours. Then once 24 hours out, we'll pull the turkey out, debone the wings, and get everything out, and we'll strain to get all the Italian seasoning stuff. Any bits and pieces that we don't want in there, we'll run it through a big strainer and get everything out. And then we'll actually freeze that, and I'll put a little bit in the refrigerator just to see if it gels up, to get it cool, to get it cold to see if it gels up. But once we get to that point, which will be tomorrow about this time, let's see, it's 12:44, right after lunch. So at 12:44 tomorrow, we'll be doing this thing. We'll bring you back then, and we'll see y'all later. And thank y'all for watching. And God bless. Okay, everybody, we're back. We have boiled the turkey wings for over 24 hours. And I'm gonna bring the camera over here to let you see what it looks like. We're fixing to run it through a strainer and everything. We've already pulled all the bones out and a good bit of the meat out. This is what it looks like like I said, we still got to strain it. And over here is all the bones and the meat. Like I said, we'll save the bones, we'll freeze the bones, and when we do the next batch, we'll throw those same bones back in there with fresh turkey legs or turkey wings. Hopefully we can find some turkey legs.
A lot of these, the meat just fell off the bone.
Like that. Just completely fell off.
Those are pterodactyl bones.
So we're going to start straining this. I know this isn't going to be a big enough boiler for what we've got, but it's a start. And then we'll start jarring everything up or putting it in freezer bags, however we're going to do this.
I'm gonna let it cool down first.
Yeah, it's definitely got to cool down. But you can see the color of it.
Get y'all in here close. Up close and personal. And he's making a mess. Gotta clean up his mess.
I'll clean up my mess. But if you recall, all this was turkey wings, water, apple cider vinegar, and Italian seasoning. That's it. You can flavor it pretty much with what you want. We didn't over flavor, so it's still a little on the bland side, which is what we want, especially since this batch is going to be mainly for our dogs. But we will do another batch for us. This will go in the refrigerator tonight. And if it gels, we did it right. I tell you what, baby, if you'll hold this, I'll pour it.
You want to put it in that big other one?
I'm going to try to get a little bit more in there and then we'll about whatever's left over in that other one. Hold it up. Okay. We'll go the other one.
That's all she wrote.
That's it. Like I said, we're going to put this in the refrigerator once it cools. There might be a little bit of fat on top. You can skim off the fat if you want to. You don't really have to because there's really not going to be that much fat in it.
That's
But
just
there'll be a little bit.
clear broth.
But like I said, it should gels up. We did right. Like I said, we're doing this after what we have learned about Atlas. And if y'all have been following us on Facebook, you know that Atlas had surgery today. Found out that he has Wobbler syndrome. And that's his spinal cord being flattened out by the top of his spine. So he somehow injured that or caused that when he jumped off our bed. They gave him a 70% chance of walking again. We've got our fingers crossed that he will be walking again. We're waiting on our phone call for this evening to find out how he's doing. We've talked to the doctor twice, but he's the reason why we're starting to do this. Is because if we can, I hear you, Nico. It just smells good, don't it? But if we can stop any of our other dogs from developing arthritis in their joints and stuff by feeding them this, and I don't recall what it was. I think it was 2, 4, and 6 ounces depending on the weight of the dog.
Yes.
And then 8 ounces for us as humans. At least 1 8-ounce glass of this a day. If you can tolerate, if your stomach will let you take 2 or more, do it. It's only going to benefit you. It's going to build your immune system up, as well as your dogs. But like I said, the reason why we're doing this and studying this and finding out that the turkey bones is the best for the dogs, that's what we're doing.
For pets 20 to 40 pounds, they'll get 2 ounces of broth a day. Pets between 50 and 80 pounds, 4 ounces. And for pets 80 plus, you're going to feed them 6 ounces of bone broth a day.
And us as humans, like I was saying, at least 8 ounces once a day. They say you can drink more than that or use more than that if you want, if your stomach can tolerate it, which only you know that once you do it. But it will help build your immune system and what's going on in this world today. If you can develop a healthier immune system by doing something like this versus, I don't know, all the stuff they're trying to pass now, vaccines and all that stuff, if you can build a better immune system by just doing this probably cost us, other than time, I think it was probably what?
$20 maybe.
$20. And you see this boiler's almost full and that's probably a quarter of the way full. And I let it cook down. It was that far from the top of that stock pot, and when it cooked down, it was about that far from the top. And that's how far I let it cook down. I did add water during the cook, but with final cooking time, I let it go down to that much. So a lot of the water did get cooked out. This is the end product. We'll bring you back and let you see what it looks like if it gelled up. If it didn't gel up, we ain't gonna bring you back. But it's gonna gel up. I promise you, it's gonna gel up. And when this is cooled off and we're able to put it in the refrigerator, we will be back and we'll show you what it's supposed to look like. Until then, see y'all later. All right, everybody, we're back with the broth that we did with the turkey wings. I did a boo-boo. I set this stuff on the broth on the stove. Gonna show you that it had gelled up. I started warming it up to liquefy it, and we got a phone call, and I didn't think about it, didn't remember it, and well, it's back to liquid. So you just gotta take my word that it gelled up. But we're fixing to bottle this up. We're not gonna put not gonna seal it. We're gonna put them straight in the freezer. We're gonna leave about 1.5 inch head space so it can expand a little bit in the freezer. And once it's frozen, then we'll put lids and rings on it and leave it sealed. But like I was saying, we're doing this for our dogs and for us, but mainly for our dogs, especially Atlas, since we found out what was going on with him, and see if we can't prevent this from happening to any of our other dogs. But here's the thing: if your dog has allergies, particularly with fowl, any bird, chicken, turkey, duck, whatever, do the beef broth. That way you don't have to worry about it. But the turkey broth is one of the best ones out there for the dogs and for us, because you get a lot more from it than you do from the beef broth. But like I said, just remember that if your dog has an allergy, is allergic to any type of fowl, do beef broth, beef bone broth. I'm gonna set the pots up here and I'm gonna start filling them up. Like I said, I'm just gonna fill them up about 1.5 inches below the top and stick them in the freezer. Then we'll seal them once they're frozen. And I do apologize, y'all. I sure didn't mean to do that, but I did it. That's hot. And this one didn't have that much in it. But the other pot's slam full. I don't remember exactly what it was. Small dogs to 20 or 25 pounds was 2 ounces. I think it's 2, 4, and 6 ounces, depending on the weight of the dog. And then 8 ounces for humans, at least once a day for humans. Ooh, this is the full one. And my wife is texting. You can hear it.
Sorry, it's the Fit Tick about our puppy Atlas. There's Atlas.
And this is all I'm putting in it. You can see where I'm stopping it. That's all I'm gonna put in there. Because when it freezes, it's going to expand some. And I didn't take any of the fat out of it. I'm not gonna take any of the fat out of it because it's not that much. Because that's gonna benefit the dogs. And it'll benefit us too because it's a healthy fat. But if you want to skim the fat out, not a problem if you choose to do so. This is pretty much it in a nutshell. Like I said, good for you and good for your dogs. It's real simple. It was turkey wings, water, and we used Italian seasoning is all we did.
And apple cider vinegar.
And apple cider vinegar, that's right. So I'm gonna finish filling these up and put them in the freezer. If y'all have any questions about any of this, I think we gave you the website to doing this for dogs and stuff, benefit dogs. But just to remind you, yep, it's backwards to you. Or it's backwards to me, one. But for pets between 20 and 40 pounds, 2 ounces of bone broth a day. For pets between 50 and 80 pounds, 4 ounces of bone broth a day. For pets 80 plus pounds, 6 ounces of bone broth a day. And like I was saying, for humans, 8 ounces. More if you can take it. That's totally up to you, but at least 8 ounces a day. That's going to help with your joints, everything else. Like I said in the beginning, think about the old folks that are still alive today that have very little arthritis. Other than they do have some aches and pains because they're old, but the arthritis and stuff is not there. Think about what it is, right there. So folks, until then, until next time, God bless. Thank you for watching Family Canning in the Sip, and we will see y'all next time. Y'all take care.